Hey everyone, welcome back. So I have been wanting to make this video for some time now, but I didn't really have the motivation to make it for some reason. But you know what? This guy put me over the edge here. Michael June, I'm making this for you. As you could tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about heavy metal fans. This is going to be the second video covering the topic because I feel that my opinions have changed a little bit since making the last one, and a lot has happened in between then and now. Long story short, after a few months of not getting much attention, there was a sudden spike of views and comments from what seemed to be out of nowhere to me. I mean, as of now, the video only has 7,500 views, but compared to the average video on my backup channel, it was going pretty well. Or not so well, however you would consider it. Let's just say the video had some very mixed feedback. So about a year ago, my friend texted me sharing a Metal Sucks article. You know, the greatest and most objective place to get your metal news. And the article was actually about the video that I made. I wish I saved it when I saw it, but now it's lost in like the shithole that is that website, so unfortunately I won't get to read it verbatim to you guys. But in summary, the guy, who, keep in mind, I think was the owner of the website, basically said how I was a metal poser and I was calling out metal elitists, but was acting like one myself, which I guess is pretty debatable. I do have this condescending tone when I talk sometimes that can lead people to believe that, but my intentions were never really to hurt anyone's feelings, never to make anybody think I'm better than them, because I really am not better at all. I only started listening to heavy metal maybe 8 or 9 years ago, so it's not like I'm like the knower of all that is metal, but I was trying to bring my opinion to the table, but obviously people took it way too hard. However, in the process, very much proved one of my points. And even though there are things I don't agree with from that video, I still stand by those two main points I made, which was that heavy metal fans shouldn't judge and basically shit on other people for the genres or bands they listen to. And the bands are allowed to change their sound. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. Now, not many people even mentioned the second point, which clearly meant that they didn't even watch the whole video, and I encouraged to do so before pretty much tearing my asshole apart in the comments, which many people did. So, a lot of people, including the guy who made the article about me, heard what they wanted to hear, and then they either clicked off or told me how wrong I was and how much of a poser I was. Hopefully this video will be taken a little less harshly as I'm trying to redeem myself here. I'm gonna choose my words a little more carefully. So let's go back and watch the first video so I could show you what exactly I'm talking about. I have come to the conclusion that heavy metal has some of the worst fans. Okay, so now after making this and many other videos like this, I've realized how painful it is to watch somebody talk directly into a camera, which is why in this video I'm showing you some dank-ass gameplay, you know, Dead by Daylight, that's the game, if you were wondering, instead of making you bear the burden of looking at this face for the next however many minutes. And just so you can see how my taste in music exactly is, I will list every single heavy metal band that I listen to, just so there is no confusion. Yeah, the reason I did this was specifically to prove my point about metal fans being super judgmental, which, spoiler alert, I did. I wasn't trying to be like, oh, look at all these bands I listen to, I'm so tough and I'm so metal. I was just trying to get a reaction. Now, I'm sure after hearing that list, a bunch of people would judge me right off the bat, and that is part of the problem. Jesus H. Christ, I just said it right there. Literally right after listing the bands. Did you people not even make it 10 seconds after you hear the words Avenged Sevenfold in a sentence? Holy shit. Oh yeah, I love Whitechapel, and I love Oceano, and I love Thy Art Is Murder, and I love Fit for an Autopsy. Like, I could just picture some people watching this video and just having like a fucking seizure in their seat at the mention of like a deathcore band or a metalcore band. Here's the thing about me though. I don't like a band because it's part of a certain genre of music. I like a band because I like the band. That's it. Okay, now watching that back, I understand how stupid that sounded. I know everyone likes the band for the band. Like, I get that. I get that that was a stupid statement. But like what I was trying to say is that just because I like one band in a certain genre, it doesn't mean I have to like every single band from that specific genre. And it is kind of true that most, and I do say most, not all, girls that listen to metal do tend to listen to metalcore. Please, for the love of God, just don't take that seriously, because I straight up just don't agree with it anymore, and like every time I hear it, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit inside.
People make videos, entire channels, about like pure devotion to hatred of these specific musical groups.
See, the thing about this is that, as sad as it is, it's actually true. There are people out there that put aside a good amount of time to hate genres and bands and people who like them.
When was the last time you saw something like that happen about a country singer or a hip-hop group? I don't know, anything else. It doesn't happen. It just happens in metal for some stupid reason.
I've gotten a lot of comments about this small point that I made, and I understand that it's wrong. People give each other shit about everything, and I didn't realize it at the time, but the rap community is just as bad, and if not worse, than the metal community. This and the comment about the girls and metalcore thing just kind of came out of nowhere, and I'd have to say I was pretty disorganized when I made this video, which is why I go off on some tangents, although I did stick to the main points of the video, and I ultimately did say what I wanted to say.
It's like the heavier metal you listen to, the more pretentious you're allowed to be, I guess. People who listen to like black metal or death metal will definitely let you know that their music is a lot better than yours, even though you're both listening to metal.
This is one of those rare times in the video where I still pretty much completely agree with what I said, and while I don't know every single person on the planet's backstory here, I can go out on a limb and say most people who think they have the best metal cred or whatever are the ones who listen to black metal, death metal, and thrash metal. Sorry, but not certain thrash metal bands. Never Metallica. I don't want to listen to those mainstream sellouts. But yeah, the death metal kids will make fun of the deathcore kids. The thrash metal kids will make fun of the new metal and the metalcore kids. And the black metal kids will make fun of everybody, because black metal is the epitome of metal, right? Also, I'll go off on a quick tangent right now. What is wrong with slam? Like, I don't get it. For some reason, I see people shitting on slam all the time. Let me play some slam for you really quick. That's not metal enough for you? Are you serious?
Let's see, another example of hateful fans, and Slipknot's in this one also, would be the rivalry between Slipknot and Mushroomhead. Everyone thinks that these two bands have this tension with each other, but that's not true at all. Guess who it is? Yeah, the fans.
This is another one of those small points I make in the video that I think might be worth bringing up again. What I said is real. Everyone thought that Slipknot and Mushroomhead had a rivalry, but they really didn't. Some fans of both Mushroomhead and Slipknot just took it way too far and made it seem like they did, but they never actually did.
Newsflash, there are more than 2 whole bands in the entire world that wear masks! Let's move on to Dream Theater. Dream Theater is known for 2 things. One is their extremely technical musical style, and the other is their extremely pretentious fans.
Dream Theater is one of my favorite bands, but I will wholeheartedly agree with this point, that their fans can have their heads way up their asses sometimes. It's pretty much like the Lord of the Rings of music, and that's also my favorite movie trilogy, so calm down, I'm not shitting on Lord of the Rings either. Same fan base though.
I agree that every member of Dream Theater is extremely skilled, but that doesn't give any of the fans the rights to be pretentious about them, and it actually gives Dream Theater a bad name.
This isn't really a point I was trying to make in the original video, but I'll bring something up now. Just because a band writes and plays music that requires more skill doesn't really mean that they're better or worse. Doom metal, for example. Really mellow, slow-paced, easy to play along most of the time, but it's great, isn't it? I can admit that death metal is objectively a more skillful and more innovative genre than deathcore, but does it make it better? Is an apple better than a pear? I don't know, I'm allergic to both.
It seems that with every single heavy metal band ever, the newer music just doesn't match up to the older music.
So pretty much for the rest of this video, I go on to talk about how a lot of people in the metal community get angry when their favorite band changes the way they sound, and for the most part, I still agree with what I'm saying. Sure, I didn't like Trivium or All That Remain's new album at all, and I really wish they would go back to their old sound, but I'm not gonna pop a blood vessel over the fact that they're trying something new. Also, Thy Art Is Murder gets criticism for the exact opposite. I always see people complaining that it's the same album over and over, which is debatable, but I bet you a small loan that if they did change their sound, they'd get shit for it too. Suicide. Silence. And can we take a moment to acknowledge how much of a crybaby little bitch Eddie Hermida is from Suicide Silence? Like, my god, have some self-respect, please. He's actually blaming the fans for not liking the new album, and then turns around to trash talk Thy Art Is Murder for not evolving their sound?
Suicide Silence or Carnifex?
Suicide Silence, hands down. The coolest guys, the raddest band. You know, unfortunately, what happened to Mitch. He's an amazing frontman, amazing person. We know a lot of people that we're friends with him, and they could say the same things. And we're friends with Eddie. Eddie's a great guy. So definitely, Suicide Silence, hands down, would win every category that they're put into with Carnifex.
You know, fuck a band that will actually go out of that spectrum to not please the fans and please themselves. That is something that bands don't do nowadays.
Right.
And they say they do. So we actually did that.
But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end of this video without either having a stroke or clicking off, thank you. Honestly, thank you. I hope you understood where I was coming from when I made the first video and where I'm coming from when I'm making this one. And if you agree with what I said, that's awesome. If not, that's fine, but I really just hope you took away the message I was trying to get across. And one more question I have for you guys is, what would Corey Taylor think about all this? But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the third installment of this fantastic trilogy where I have to clear up even more of what I say. Peace out, guys.